Legend speaks of the existence of an object so powerful it could dismantle reality itself. It could make champions out of the most unlikely of candidates. This object could not be defeated by even the greatest among us, and thus the gods tried to destroy it. They tried and they tried, but still they failed. And despite this failure, they told us it had been done, that this object was indeed no more, but instead they buried it, deep where it remained hidden and untouched until now. Ella's grzmot mine has the potential to be one of the most broken pieces of utility in the game. It blinds, concusses, and deafens attackers the moment they come within its radius, granting defenders an almost unlosable gunfight if they swing quickly enough. At the cost of sane mines everywhere, this video will focus on how to best utilize this broken gadget so you can better your own gameplay with Ella. The way her mine is typically used is most people throw her gadget down close to sight and forget about it, and they treat it basically as an advanced proxy alarm. So for instance, a very common spot for an Ella mine is to throw it on White Stairs on Oregon. And although this is a fine place to put it, and I'm not going to tell you not to put one there, you could very easily just put a proxy alarm or some barbed wire here, and it would be just as effective. The concern with putting an Ella mine in a place like this is that if it goes off, it's very hard to immediately act on the concussing effect and actually get the kill. It typically will go off, the enemy team will fall back, wait for the effects to go away, and then either continue to go back up White Stairs or run around and push another direction. The main thing players focus on when throwing an Ella mine down is just, can this be shot from somewhere? And although this is something you should be focusing on, it is not the only thing you should be focusing on, deciding where to throw these overpowered mines. When used correctly, these should grant you at least one, if not 2 or 3 kills around. There are 4 things that you should think about when deciding where to place Ella mine. The first thing you should think about is, where is the enemy team likely to push? You don't want to stack your Ella mines somewhere that they'll never get hit. So if you are playing a site for the second time, you'll probably have a good idea of where the enemy team likes to push from. If not, maybe you can get on cam, see where the enemy spawned, and that could give you a hint as to where the enemy team is going to push. Or when in doubt, you could pocket a few Ella mines until you know for certain the direction in which they're going to push. The second thing I want you to think about is, can I immediately act off of the Ella mine going off? You'll want to swing and take the gunfight as close to the moment the Ella mine goes off as possible. The third question you should ask is, will the enemy expect an Ella mine here? If an enemy expects an Ella mine, then they're likely going to be a lot more cautious, and they're going to be a lot more likely to pre-fire the second it goes off. And the final question is, can the enemy quickly duck around a corner or get away after the Ella mine goes off before I can take the gunfight? If the Ella mine is placed above a doorway, then likely they'll just hit it and then walk back out of the doorway and then wait for the effects to go away. And then you don't really have a chance to act off that concussing effect. Given these 4 questions, the places that I prefer to place Ella mines include under windows. So if the enemy team hops in, they immediately get concussed. The second place I like to throw Ella mines is in the middle of long, narrow hallways. Assuming there's something I can properly hide an Ella mine behind, this is a great spot to get a free kill. You can also place Ella mines in conjunction with another type of utility that will slow the player down. So you can place it by a Melusi trap, you can place it by a Thorn trap, you can place it by a Fenrir, even barbed wire. 2 of the places to think about with regards to your Ella mine placements is anywhere that is likely going to be rushed. And then another one that is a lot trickier to get down is a place where the Ella mine will be triggered by the enemy right before or right while they're swinging an angle that you're holding. This again takes a lot more map knowledge and a lot more practice, but can be very effective because, as I said before, the initial effect, which is that blinding effect, basically could grant you a free kill if it is timed perfectly. Alright, the final part of this video is going to be going over Ella's playstyle. Now you can be selfish, you can be generous, or you can be somewhere in the middle. If you're going to be selfish, then that means you're pretty much going to use all 3 Ella mines for yourself. This may sound like a bad idea, but if you're knowledgeable about where the Ella mine placements are, you know where the enemy team is going to push from, and you can place yourself in between them and sight, and you can play off your ally mines effectively, then being selfish may actually work out better for your team. However, if you're choosing to be more generous, then you have to be a lot more careful with your ally mine placements, because again, if you're not clear as to where your ally mine placements are, or your teammates aren't paying close enough attention, they may expose themselves to an angle where they think they're safe from just because the ally mine hasn't gone off. So I would just say, if you are going to play very generously, I would be very careful with this. However, the middle ground, and I think is arguably the best route to go, is I would say use one ally mine to help your teammates out, throw them in a very standard spot, throw it in a place that's close to sight where there's no chance of your teammates getting caught off guard by it or having the enemy team crouch walk up too close to sight without hitting it. And then the second ally mine I would say use for yourself. Use to soft roam, or use it to hard roam, or use it to just lock down one part of sight and to swing off of it when it goes off. And then the third mine, I would say just pocket it. You never know when quick ally mine toss is going to save your life. And that about wraps up how to play Ela. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you're going to take what you learned and implement it into your own gameplay to make you the best player you can be. If you liked, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment asking me what opera do you want me to do next. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.